And we are recording. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kayla. I go by Kayla Creative Online. And I am here today with a great friend of mine, Chandra, who I am so excited to interview today. We are talking about personal finance tips, specifically for creatives and people who are juggling their side hustle with their everyday 9 to 5. So Chandra is so good at personal finance, and she's going to give us all the tips and tricks that can help you with that. But before I throw it over for Chandra's introduction, I want to make sure I tell you who I am. You know, my name is Kayla, and I am a full-time iPad artist. I love helping creatives figure out how to make an income from their iPads through digital art. And I do it by making content just like this. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications. Okay, Chandra, I know who you are, but why don't you introduce yourself for the viewers? Tell us who you are, what you do, all the good stuff.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Kay, for having me on today. But my name is Chandra. I'm also known as Glo Girl Glo over on Instagram and on YouTube. I'm a mom of two. I have a 17-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old now. His birthday was just a few weeks ago. So a 6-year-old son. I'm a full-time USPS mail carrier, which is an essential job, and I spend a lot of time there. I'm on a debt-free journey. I'm in about $40,000 worth of debt right now, and I'm side hustling my way out of debt. I'm a part-time reseller, so I sell on Poshmark, Mercari, and a little bit on eBay. And I'm a recent new boutique owner. I just launched my boutique on June 4th of this year, and that's pretty much a little bit about me.
You are the busiest person in the world. So I love this because Chandra, I talk to a lot of artists and a lot of creative people. And to me, you are one of the most creative people that I have found online. And I think people will hear that when they hear about all the stuff that you're doing and creating. But I just think it's interesting how our paths cross because we both know each other from early side hustles.
Right.
You mentioned reselling, and I used to be in the reselling community. That's how we met. But for anyone who doesn't know what that is and they're about to go to Glo Girl Glo and see you talking about it, what is reselling?
Reselling is taking things, well, for me, it's taking things from your home that you probably do not want anymore, can't wear anymore, do not love anymore, and you're listing them on these third-party platform apps and trying to make money from them. So that's pretty much what reselling is. It's taking old items and trying to make money from it.
Cool. And yeah, and we both used Poshmark at the time that we met each other. Yeah. So that was really cool. So that was before I bought my iPad. That was before I was in digital art. Okay, so tell us, so you kind of started with the reselling content, and the reselling was a way that you were paying off your personal debt. But if I remember correctly, in the very beginning, you didn't speak as much about eliminating personal debt as you do now in the very beginning of Glo Girl Glo. Can you tell us like about your debt-free journey and what made you kind of pivot towards sharing more information about your debt-free journey?
Okay, so when I first started the Glo Girl Glo account, I started as a way to just let women or girls know that they can work on themselves while loving themselves, because I was a type of person that I was unhappy with how I look far as my body wise. I had self-body image issues, I would say. So because I had just had a son 6 years ago, I felt like, okay, well, when I had my daughter, I bounced back. I apologize. My son is yelling in the background. But I was dealing with some issues with my body, and I wanted girls to know that, you are beautiful, you are fine the way you are. You could just, work out a little bit more, and then maybe you will achieve those fantastic goals that you want. But I wanted to let them know that you're perfect just the way you are. Then in 2019, because I started that page in September of, I think it was 2019. And in July of 2019, I actually lost my mom. So it's like the Glo Girl Glo was like an outlet for that. It kept my mind off of just my mom and her passing and things like that. But however, once I was going through the motion of like, okay, well, getting her funeral arrangements together, my dad almost losing the house and things like that, it woke something up inside of me that where I needed to get in control of my finances, because I was doing this thing for these women and trying to have events for them where they were comfortable with just coming out in their own skin. I was spending money that I did not have. So I was creating events at Stone Mountain. I was providing like breakfast bars, water and things like that. So I was spending money that I did not have, along with still dealing with things behind the scene with my mom financial situation. So that woke something up inside of me where I said, you know what, I can come back to that later. Right now, I need to get my money together. I need to get my finances together. So when, because we're all here to live and to die. So when it's my time to go on with the Lord, that my kids won't have to go through the same thing that I actually went through with my mom, because I didn't have any savings when my mom passed. My dad didn't have any savings. No, my sister didn't have any savings. And we are a very small family. It's only my grandmother, my me and my sister, my mom, and then me and my kids. So that's pretty much like my blood family. But I reached out to coworkers. I went through all of my contacts in my phone, and I was blessed from the contacts in my phone. I was able to give my mom not only one service, but two service, because she had people coming in from out of town. So we was able to give her two service and also be able to do a funeral arrangement for her. So I'm extremely blessed to just have all of the people that's inside of my phone, inside of my life, that were able to contribute to those things. But it did wake something up inside of me to basically get my stuff together. And that's what really actually why I started sharing more and more and more of my debt-free journey, because it's not spoken a lot on social media, because social media is that type of place I feel that people only highlight the perfect stuff, the good, and they don't really talk about how much debt that they're really in. And I just try to put it out there from a transparent perspective, and to let other women know that you're not the only one out here, for one, and you don't have to do it alone. So that's pretty much why I got started with my debt-free journey.
Oh, thank you for sharing all that, Chandra. I don't even think I mean, I kind of knew some of the things that you mentioned, but I didn't know all of those details about how your family had to kind of come together in such a tragic event. So I appreciate you sharing that. I know that's going to touch a lot of people that watch this.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you shared about how you had some of those moments where you were like, okay, I need to get in control of my personal finance journey. And you were doing that in the same time as working a 9 to 5 and taking care of your family. And then you had side hustles that I'm assuming your side hustles are supporting the debt-free journey. But that just seems like a lot. So can you talk about what did it feel like when you first had this big, beautiful idea? I say big, beautiful idea a lot because I know people have big ideas and there are barriers to starting. So you first had these big ideas of these side hustles, but you knew you were working 9 to 5 and you knew you were on a debt-free journey. How did you propel yourself forward? How did you start these things?
So I knew I have 2 off days at my job. One of the off days I choose to work because I wanted to make extra money. The other one, I decided that I'm going to take a break. So Sundays were my days where I took the break. So Sundays, no regular carrier works on Sundays. So that was the time that I needed to feel to, I guess, make more money if possible. And I want to do something that was light, not nothing necessarily that I had to get out of the house for. So that's where the reselling came into hand. I started from my own closet. I went through some stuff, and I have kids. Of course, I have a son. He's growing. He has stuff that he has outgrown. And I said, you know what? Maybe if I just list some things on Poshmark, I can see how they do, see if I can make a little bit of extra money. And at that time, I was doing it to see if I could just replace me paying for his daycare out of my own pocket. Maybe I can use the reselling money to pay for daycare out of that, those funds. So I tried doing that. And, some weeks would be successful because daycare was a every week thing. I had to pay 140 every single week. So I would make 140 one week, but the next week I wouldn't, and I would feel down about it. Like, oh, I can't get this. Maybe this is not for me. And I said, you know what? You're making some money on here. Why not use that money that you are making and put it towards debt? So that way you don't have to pay those extra credit card payments or anything like that. You could use that money for that. But I pretty much just looked at my schedule, see when I had the most free time, and which was Sundays. And Sunday, I just batch work every single thing with the reselling business on Sundays. And then I would just list throughout the week while I was at work on my lunch break, during breaks and things like that. So that's where that came into hand. And then eventually, as I became a little bit more experienced with it, I got me a happy planner and I started planning everything out. And that helped even more because it took away the time that I was spending with doing all of the other things.
Perfect. Okay. So I love what you said there because, like I said before, people have a hard time moving from the idea phase to the execution. A lot of it's fear. But you said two things. So I want to repeat it for anybody watching the video. Start small and light. Don't overwhelm yourself in the beginning, is what I heard you say. And then I also heard you say, schedule it and make a plan. So I really, really, really like that. On the digital art side, for any of my artist friends, digital artist friends that are watching, that's kind of something that I've talked about in terms of starting small and light and also scheduling. So I have a video called How to Sell Your Digital Art Commissions Online. That's what I started with when I was still working 9 to 5. That was kind of my version of starting light. I took a few orders. I drew a few people. I've drawn you before, Chandra. I drew a few people. And the good thing about commissions is you're totally in control of it. So if you have a Monday through Friday work schedule like Chandra's was, you can choose that, I'm just going to draw commissions on a Saturday. Or, I'm just going to make my digital art on this day, or in this evening, however it fits into your schedule. And then, so I have that How to Sell Your Digital Art Commissions video. And I also have a video about how to start your big, beautiful idea. I talk about scheduling and making a plan as part of that, because I really, really agree. So glad we're on the same page.
Yeah.
There. Okay. So I love this. Okay. So you made this plan, you're starting small, and then you schedule your things out, but you're still on this debt-free journey, right? So can you give us some tips about, if you're a creative person, if you're starting something new, but you don't want to break the bank, you're still working, you still have other responsibilities, you still have to pay your tuition or for your kids, whatever it is. What are your top personal finance tips for us on how to do that?
So I wrote down these 3 tips because I wanted to give like the best ones I could possibly think of.
Yes.
Which for me is, the main one is to create a budget. That's my number one thing, is to just create a budget and stick with the budget. The second thing is to know your numbers, AKA track your expenses. I think a lot of times we think that we know our numbers, but until we write them down and see exactly where our money is going and how much money we are actually spending on different things, that's when you're going to be wowed by all of the numbers, unnecessary spending that you actually are doing. And then the third thing I feel like anyone should do is to create a financial schedule. So know exactly when those payments are due, know exactly when you want to go. Just say, for instance, if you're reselling, know the days that you want to go to the thrift store and shop or whatever, and you already have your budget in place, and you know that, okay, well, on this particular day, I'm going to the thrift store. I'm taking $50, for instance, if that's your budget amount, and I'm going to only spend that amount, and have those days set for every single month. Plan it all out. And when you get to the end of the month, you will realize that you have created a budget for once. You haven't spent over the amount you have set for, and then you know exactly on what days bills are coming in, bills are going out, money is coming in and money is going out. So that's pretty much it.
That is so good. I have never heard create a financial schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Yeah,
that is something.
just like a calendar. So I use the Happy Planner for that as well, and I also used to create a budget binder. So on the
Okay.
calendar, I have the days that I'm paid. So I know every 2 weeks I'm paid a certain amount. And then I have my bills, on the days that they are due. So you need to know exactly how much money you're going to be making in order to pay the bills that's going to be due around that same time. So that's why I say
Yes.
create a financial schedule, because you'll have everything set you'll know what days everything is due, instead of money just coming out of your account, because you have it set on automatic payments, which is totally
Right.
fine. But a lot of us don't know exactly what we have coming out of our account. We just have it on automatic draft, and we have forgotten about it. We no longer use the subscription anymore, because I had a lot of subscriptions, and it was unnecessary subscription that I wasn't even using. So if you write it all out and see exactly what is coming out of your account, you will know where your unnecessary money, or where you need to kind of like save some money. You can kind of cut some things out.
I love that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to repeat it. 3 top personal finance tips for when you are starting a brand new side hustle, big, beautiful idea at the same time as a 9-to-5 or a debt-free journey. You want to create a budget. You want to know your numbers and track your expenses. And then you want to create a financial schedule, which is deeper than just your budget. That's the actual schedule of finances. Chandra, I actually need this information. Do you use any tools when you're tracking your expenses? Do you use anything other than just
Yeah.
a spreadsheet?
Yes, I use Mint, the app called Mint.
Okay.
And I love that app, because if you set it up correctly, once you swipe your debit card, it automatically puts it in the right category for each, transaction that you use. So that's why I like Mint. And then it also tracks your net worth. It tracks your credit cards, your investment. So it does a whole lot than just checking what's in your checkings and savings. It does, other things as well.
Awesome. Okay. So then something just came to me. This wasn't one of the questions that I wrote
Yeah.
down, but just tell me if you don't mind sharing this. But thinking about launching something new, startup costs. One of the things that I really liked about starting digital art is that the number of startup costs were minimal, because I don't have to have physical art supplies, but the cost of the thing that I needed, which is my iPad, was a huge investment. Had it not been for COVID savings, I don't know that I would have been able to do it. So
right.
Can you talk about, so you started a boutique, which I want to hear more about boutique later too, but can you talk about what were some of your business investments that you had to budget and make, maybe some of the ones that were higher than that surprised you, or was it kind of cheaper than you thought?
So after I made the decision to pay off my car,
Yes.
At the beginning of the year, yeah. So with the reselling, I made it a goal. Instead of doing the daycare, making the $140 a week payments, I was just using whatever I could to just pay extra on debt. I chose to just put those extra funds towards my car, and I actually paid off my car at the beginning of the year. So after then, I started using whatever I was making from reselling to put in a savings for the boutique business. Along with, I knew that I was going to invest $500 on my own. So with the $500, I wanted to take that out of my tax refund. So that's exactly what I did. I took money out of my tax refund along with what I was making on the side to start up my boutique business. So right away, I didn't purchase inventory. The only thing I got done was I went to the Shopify website and I created got the domain name, and I actually purchased the membership for Shopify, which is $29, $29.99 or something like that, $29. And I was paying and paying and paying because I didn't launch the boutique to actually June. So this gave me time to get more money and start buying inventory, get my website together and things like that. So I didn't realize that website was expensive like it was. I feel like I did run across a great deal. It was a young lady online on Instagram that I came across that was doing websites for I think $100 or $200. So I had money set aside that I could use for that. But basically what I would just suggest to anyone that's just starting up and don't have the money right now is to basically go back to your financial calendar. Know exactly when you want to start this business. And if it's on January 1st, you know that you have 6 more months left and you want to get up $500, then you know that you need to be saving a certain amount up until January, you know, to start this business. And then once you go into that business, it's not really like a headache or anything because you have the funds set aside already, and you know, you just plan ahead of time. I'm not sure if you actually did that yourself, Kayla, with just putting money to the side and just saving it and then just going out and buying the iPad instead of just purchasing it all at once. I'm not exactly sure, but that's just what I would suggest. Anything that I purchase, anything that I really do, I pretty much plan it out. So if I say that, okay, well, next month I want to buy $200 worth of inventory, I know that I need to be trying to save that $200 from the previous month with what I'm making to actually purchase that purchase that inventory for the next month. So just plan it ahead of time and just break it down. And it's all about just knowing the numbers, knowing exactly how much you want to save, what it is that you want to buy, and actually knowing how much it's going to cost. Because yes, we can say, yes, we want the iPad, but what type of iPad do we want? Because different ones, you know, are different prices. Do we want a case for it? Do we want, you know, the accessories and things like that? And just get the total amount. And once you get that total amount, break it down in the time frame that you want to do, get it, and start putting money aside for it.
I love it. See, I think that's so important of just being really clear about your finances, exactly what you want, exactly where the money's coming from. And I feel like, I think a lot of other people can relate to me, but just kind of the way I was brought up, kind of the environment that I came up in, money is kind of something you don't really talk about. So even if you want something, it's just kind of like, oh, I'm just gonna get it. You don't think about, well, I shouldn't say you, like me. I don't necessarily think about the accessories that I want with it. And I don't want to think about how all the money's adding up. Like, I don't want to think about it. I just want what I want. But what you're saying is like, no, think about it and know exactly, just a more mindful and a more detailed approach, which I needed you when I first started this, because my iPad was a splurge. I'm telling you, I've told people before, I got on YouTube and I saw somebody drawing on an iPad. I had never had an iPad before. I didn't even know it was possible. I used to paint when I was in high school. I stopped in college. And so I was like, because I've moved so many different apartments, and like moving art supplies from place to place in my life was starting to just become a hassle. And buying new pencils, and this marker dried out, and oops, I didn't wash those brushes out when I was supposed to. Like, so when I saw that people could just open an iPad and like mimic all the mediums on an iPad, I just was like, and I have savings from COVID that I didn't really know what I was saving for. I was just saving, buying an iPad. So I didn't have
right.
And then before you know it, I have the screen protector, and I have the Apple Pencil. I got the case, and now I need the iPad stand. And oh, well, maybe I need the glove. Like, so I definitely didn't. I could have used your advice, because when I look back, my startup costs, I could have handled it, even though they were kind of like upfront and they didn't linger too much once I bought them. I could have handled it a little bit differently. So I appreciate you saying that.
Because I feel like when you're budgeting, a budget doesn't restrict you. It allows you to, you know, to do whatever it is that you want to do without overspending. So that's why I say it doesn't matter what it is that you want. You can get the world if that's what you want, but just plan it out and just take the proper steps in getting the world. So if you wanted that iPad along with those accessories, so just write out every single thing that you want, how much it is that it's actually gonna cost you, and you just plan it out, you know. So that's pretty much what I do with every single thing. I get everything that I want. It may not be when I want it, but I eventually get, you know, what I want if it's still available at that time. But that impulse spending, oh my God, it's something really serious, because you know, now these phones are so smart. When you get on there for the iPad, it's telling you need this, you need that, you need this, and you need that. And it's like you just put it in the cart because you think you really need it, and it looks cute and it's pretty and stuff like that, and you really didn't need it right away. You could have waited a little
Exactly.
bit longer to get it.
And it's the instant nature too of how everything that we have is kind of like, you don't have, well, you should stop and think about your finances, but I'm easily swept up into things. So when I
Mm-hmm.
was ready to get my iPad, Amazon Prime bought my iPad to my house 2 days
Yeah.
after I decided I want. So it wasn't, I didn't sit like, oh, let me really think about this. It was like instant gratification. So I think that was important what you said. Okay, I
Yeah.
wrote down a quote that you just said. A budget doesn't restrict you. It allows you to do what you want without overspending.
Right.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right.
Okay. Oh, the gems. See, this is why I wanted to talk to you, Chandra, because I went full time in March with my art, and it's been kind of a whirlwind thing, but I am no financial genius. And so when I talk about going full time, it's saying my internet is unstable. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're
Okay,
good.
good. So when I talk to people online about going full time, a lot of people have questions for me about budgeting and about how they can do the same thing. A lot of them are students. A lot of them are working. They have families. A lot of them are women with young children. So I thought it was important to get advice for them from the expert and not from me, because as you can see, I Amazon Prime iPads to my house after watching these videos. So I have a lot of people that I'm gonna send the link to this video to.
Okay.
And for people who are watching, if you're one of those folks that I just mentioned, if you are wanting to start a side hustle, start an art journey, start something new, but you want to be mindful of your budget, if you have any questions for Chandra, I will pass them along to her. Just leave a comment on this video. Or if you want to hear more about personal finance on my channel, then I have friends like Chandra who I can ask for help and ask for that content, and I can point y'all to her so that you can get more of that information. Because that's a huge part of this whole life, of this creative life of creating new things, is finances.
Right.
Okay, creating new things. Chandra, you have a new boutique. Tell us everything.
Yes. So the name of my boutique is Glo Girl Glo Boutique, and it's a online women's clothing store for women that want to transition from home to going out, brunch with the girls, things like that. Not necessarily the club. We do not see a club wear anything like that, but basically clothing just can get your body moving, that can just get you up out of the bed, because I feel like a lot of times we're laying in the bed because we're home and things like that, and we don't really get things done. But when we start to put on clothes and feel good about ourselves, we start to get out and be more productive. So I want to provide clothing for women to just be active and just get up and glow for basically.
I love it. And the clothes are cute. The sets that came in a couple of weeks ago. Y'all, she's at Glo Girl Glo on Instagram. You can see her modeling some of the clothes, and I will link all her stuff in the description of this video. But where can people find you? Where can they find you for the personal finance tips, reselling tips, and where can they find the boutique?
Okay, so on the finance tips, I'm Glo Girl Glo over on Instagram, and that's GLOGIRL GLO. And on the fashion boutique stuff, it's on Glo Girl Glo Boutique on Instagram. So that's where you can find me.
Yay, y'all go find Chandra. And I'm putting it out there, and I'm putting it on recorded video that we're gonna do some planners.
Yes, we are. I definitely want to talk to you about that. Yes.
So we're going to illustrate some planners, and maybe they could be financial schedules, because I need one of those.
Yes, we're down. Yep.
So Chandra, I like to encourage people, and you are one of the most encouraging people that I know. Y'all seriously follow Glo Girl Glo, because Chandra gets up early in the morning just to provide Instagram live inspiration for her followers. She takes encouragement really seriously.
Yeah.
So Chandra, if you could leave a piece of encouragement to a person watching this, and again, they're one of those people that I described, if they search for this video, they have an idea and they're trying to figure out how to start, or they just started it, what's some encouragement that you can give?
And I'm happy you said this because today is like one of the most powerful lives I did this morning. And the topic was, or the title was, Stop Doubting Yourself. We put so much pressure on ourselves to think that it has to be like the person to the right of us or the person to the left of us. And we're not actually taking time to look at ourselves in the mirror and know that we deserve great things. We could do this stuff. All we have to do is just start. So stop doubting yourself. Whatever God has put on the inside of you, allow him to take it inside of you and bring it out of you. And just stop looking to the right and to the left and just do what this thing that God has put inside of you. And then also know that whatever God has put inside of you, nobody can take that away. Even if you want to doubt yourself, it's a net flying around, but even if you want to doubt yourself or whatever, God has an amazing way of showing you that even though you don't think that you can do it, I'm going to continue on putting this idea inside of you that one day you're not going to have any choice but to bring it out. So stop doubting yourself. Get out there today. Start that idea that you have inside of your head, that God has put inside of your head, and start bringing it out, because people need people like us. People need people. They want to see your big idea. They want to see you do it so they can be inspired to do the same exact thing. And even though you may think that your little thing is just a little idea, it's not to the next person that is looking at you. You'll be surprised how many people are looking at you, but just hasn't clicked on a like or hasn't commented yet or hasn't slid in the DMs. So I just want to say, just stop doubting yourself. That idea that God has put inside of you, bring it out. It's time to bring it out.
Oh, thank you, Chandra. That is perfect. I have a note on my board that I wrote, and it's what you said, because what you said is the truth. And it is, you are willing, God is able. That's the perfect recipe. So just do the thing.
Yeah.
That's what our friend Leslie says.
Yeah.
She'll be proud when she sees this video.
Right.
All right. Well, this has been wonderful. Is there anything else you would add, Chandra? I have asked all the questions I had.
Okay. That's pretty much it. I think we went over everything. I just want to encourage everyone to just start the idea, start the thing, and just do it with a plan. Write the vision, make it plain, and you got this. There's people out there that want to, support you, that want to inspire you, motivate you, and just cheer you on along the way. So get out there and do it.
Just do it. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Chandra. I haven't done very many videos on my YouTube channel. I'm still new, and this is my very first interview for my YouTube channel.
Oh, wow.
Thank you for doing this with me. I think that we have a lot of information that's going to help a lot of people. I'm going to remind everybody, if you have any other questions about how personal finance, debt-free journey can play a role in your big, beautiful idea, leave a comment. I'll make sure to get them to Chandra. We will get all your comments, questions answered. If you like this video, thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for my channel. And with that, we'll say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
See you, Kay.
Bye, Chandra.